The Love Lebanon podcast is on location, talking about the tasty offerings of Gorditos, tacos, and tortas, located within Finger Distillery in downtown Lebanon. We chat with Levi Kinney and Molly O'Malia to find out how these high school friends turned Levi's love for cooking into a tasty sensation. We talk tacos and tortas, but we also get the skinny on the Mexiconey. Just wait until you hear how it's made. Episode 185 of the Love Lebanon podcast starts now.
Welcome to the Lebanon podcast, highlighting all the great things happening in Lebanon, Indiana. Have an idea for an episode? Send an email to lebanon@lebanon.in.gov.
Hey everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Love Lebanon podcast. Today we are recording on location from Finger Distillery and Gordito's Rust Belt Tacos and Tortas, located in downtown Lebanon. I'm Joe LePage, the Communications and Community Development Director. Got a couple great folks from Gordito's here to join us. We've got Levi Kinney. Levi, appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
And Molly O'Malia.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for coming out.
Guys, thanks for having us in the place here on the podcast. Thanks for taking some time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for being here, man.
Absolutely.
And for those of us who've had the food, if you haven't, everybody, now is your wake-up call. Get here, get the stuff, because it's amazing. How have things been going so far? Welcome to Lebanon.
Thanks, yeah.
How have things been going?
Yeah, really, really good so far. Yeah, we feel that we've been welcomed really warmly by the community. Everyone that's been in has really given us some pretty awesome feedback. So we're just excited to be here. It was a long time coming. We were working for quite some time. I think almost 2 years before we finally launched. So we're just excited to get going, man. Yeah.
And Molly, same thing. Have you guys kind of felt the buzz and that sort of thing? Has the welcome been going? Our hashtag, and it's on the wall right behind you. It says "This is home." Has this felt like home so far?
Absolutely. The community has been amazing. I think also like Get Mooned
and Boone. Yeah, we got Mooned and Boone back in April.
Having those types of events have really helped just boost us here, and the city's been so welcoming with their events as well, making sure that we're known here inside and people are coming in.
Mm-hmm. Coming in and things are working right now. Everybody right now closed on Monday, more or less dinner Tuesday through Thursday, and then pretty much all day Friday through Sunday. You guys are just rocking it and always moving and shaking. This is the second location, first one up in Fishers. What was it about Lebanon that kind of sparked your interest? Was it the collaborative juices flowing with the Four Finger folk?
Yeah, well, we had an opportunity with a potentially great partner. Back in 2022, we started the conversation with Nolan and Brad here at Four Finger, and we were just really excited to look at any and all opportunities, and they had mentioned that they were launching this place in Lebanon, and I hadn't really thought of it. Learned very quickly of the developments in the town, and got really excited about it. And I was a wrestler at Cathedral, so our wrestling programs, Lebanon and Cathedral, had a relationship that would bring me up here every other year to wrestle. And so I'd always been interested in Lebanon as a community, and so I was just excited at the opportunity, especially to work with great people at Four Finger, and Molly helped make that connection. I'm really grateful for that opportunity.
And if we can kind of tug on that a little bit, guys, You guys, speaking of Cathedral, met back in high school and become buddies, and you're kind of doing this thing together. Molly doing more so the boots on the ground, the business side of things, and then Levi, you're making great food.
Yeah.
Friendship back in high school, kind of realized today it's kind of cool.
Absolutely.
How'd that all happen?
Yeah, we were actually on a Habitat for Humanity trip. We didn't really know each other before then, but we had been acquaintances. But it was kind of a retreaty thing where but Molly and I kind of ended up just really bonding that week and doing some good for a community, being a part of a community, and we both had a lot of energy, a lot of positive energy, and didn't know then that we would be business partners someday. But really, I loved Molly's ability to support and to organize, and she's really shined in that regard since day one. And if there's anything I've ever needed in this world, it is support and organization. As a chef, I'm really good in the kitchen. I like to make the analogy that I'm kind of a penguin on ice versus in water, right?
Okay,
Like
gotcha.
when a penguin's on ice, he's wobbling around, and that's when I'm outside the kitchen. When I'm in the kitchen, I'm swimming. I feel great. Things are smooth. So Molly really, really helps with that kind of, so to speak, on land side of things.
As I say, keep his hands in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where he shines. So
That's
just
the goal.
here to
and
support
helps
that.
us, yeah.
Absolutely.
I was going to say, what is it like to be the on land person, kind of being the boots on the grounds, selling a restaurant like this now in two different locations, one northeast side, now one northwest?
Yeah, it's fun. It's what I love to do is connecting with people. And then on top of that, it's very easy to sell what Levi's cooking up. I mean, it's why I partnered with him. Was he, like he said, get the food in as many people's mouths as possible. Well, when that happened to me, and where we've been in the past, really solid friendship was a great foundation there. Just grew from there, and it's just easy to go out on the street and pass out his food, and there's never that negative feedback. It's every time. He crushes it.
Yeah, especially if you taste it and like it, it's easier to sell, certainly.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the food if you guys don't mind. Of course you don't.
Right.
Looking up on the website, everybody, if you kind of look back and see the about us, kind of get the history behind it all, kind of Rust Belt industry where great food after maybe a hard day's work, that type of thing. What was it about the whole Rust Belt, you guys both growing up in the Midwest, kind of tugging at your heartstrings to be able to have kind of Rust Belt, but at the same time Latin America fare at the same time?
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, I grew up son of a tool and die maker. Dad worked nights, mom worked, during the day, and, just kind of blue collar family, getting through it. And, throughout my life, unfortunately, parents split, moves were made, and things happened. I actually struggled with my relationship with food for a very long time. I was a big kid. That's kind of where the Gorditos comes from. I was a little chunky fella. And so I found myself in the kitchen a lot. I just did. And it's where a lot of conversation was happening. It was just the life center of the house. And so, I found that in a Midwestern society in particular, that we come in through the garage and we congregate in the kitchen, right? And so I've kind of always loved that, but also that like really blue collar of like going to work, getting after it, and then having, a hot plate for you at the end of the day and enjoying it and having it cooked with love was super important. And so that love part is really where like the Latin part comes in. Having that struggling relationship with food as I was coming up as a young man, I had to get a job when I was 14, single mom, and so I got a job when I was 14, and naturally it was the hospitality industry. And like I said, people congregate in the kitchen. And so the kitchen was the fun place for me to be. A lot of Latin fellas back there, mostly Mexicans. And so I really learned how to cook from them. I mean, they were the people that taught me how to cook. And then I found myself playing for the All-Americans in rugby, going to South America, and really appreciating food down there and tasting things I'd never tasted before. And then, kind of combining all of these experiences, ended up a Wabash Spanish major, Spanish and psychology, studied abroad in Spain. And all this time I'm cooking in kitchens alongside mostly Mexican cooks.
Yeah.
And so once I got out of college, I didn't really know what to do. I left Wabash and
As a little giant?
yeah,
Well,
yes,
yeah,
sir.
yeah.
As a proud little giant, yes, sir. Didn't really have a place to go. The suit and tie jobs weren't for me, and so I decided to jump back in the kitchen, and I found myself with those same folks, and so being a fluent Spanish speaker, having mostly Mexican buddies back at work, I just naturally found myself making tacos and tortas and stuff like that, and really just celebrating, people that made me comfortable with what is now my life. Mm-hmm. Really, like, cooking is my life. And so these are people that I owe a debt of gratitude.
And dumb question, I think I know the answer, but how much of those travels, how much of your experiences kind of played themselves out quite literally in the dishes that you serve?
Oh, I mean, it's everything. It's literally everything. Like I said, Spanish and psychology, right? People. I'm about people. I'm about culture. I'm about really celebrating the cool things that we do. And that's really, getting back to the Rust Belt side of things, I think we need to be proud of being from here. And I think there's a lot of, in the culinary world especially, there's a lot of celebration on the coasts. There's a lot of celebration in New York and DC and Boston, Miami, LA, Seattle, all these great restaurants, all these great chefs with great food. But I think we do that here too, and I just don't think it's celebrated enough. That's really what it's all about.
Yeah, that's great perspective. Everybody, we're talking with Levi and we're talking with Molly, and I'm Joe here on the Love in Lebanon podcast here at Gordito's Rust Belt Tacos and Tortas, located inside, you may know, as the Four Finger building on Lebanon Street and also Washington as well, right on the corner. Pretty easy to get to. I see the garage doors that are there. Great seating here, family friendly as well. We'll talk a little bit about that in just a moment, but if we can talk about the menu, we get invited, city folk, we get invited to a lot of these, come in for friends and family, or you get a sneak peek at stuff, and you come in and try it, and you feed them a line a lot of times. If, this is the best food I've ever had, or whatever. But there was a different reaction when people came in here. I mean, you guys said it perfectly, that we tasted it, and it was, this is incredible stuff. If you can kind of describe some of the things that maybe are your favorites on the menu. I have mine. I know that.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, it's really easy to get really granular, really quick about my favorite things that we do. For instance, like our house adobo, like our adobo that we use is a homemade 26, I think I whittled it down to 26 ingredients.
Oh, just 26?
Yeah, just 26. Usually takes about 8 to 10 hours to make. That's a spice rub that we make in-house that I developed over a lot of time. And that goes into so much of our food at varying levels and in varying ways that is what gets me excited. Mm-hmm. But if I had to pick a favorite, that kind of thing is what gets me going, But if I had to pick a favorite menu item, I would have to say the conies are a cheeky little favorite of mine. I love the brisket. It's amazing. 12-hour hickory smoke, adobo rub, all that good stuff. It's amazing. Really, really good. Brisket taco, love it. But the coney is just it's the root of who we are.
Okay. I was going to ask you about that because if you look at the menu, you see the tacos, you see the tortas, you see, and the chips and the dips that you got. I mean, it's on point, man. The queso was tight. It's really good.
If you're going to call yourself a taco and torta shop, you better get those right? You better do those right. And I guess that's why the coney is kind of my favorite. Yeah, it's the unsung hero, right?
It's the little change up. It's like, wait, there's a misprint here. You put coney over there. No. Yeah, what is it? Because you think your coney dog, that type of thing, but that's not at all what this is. This is. We've got a buddy that's the only thing he orders. He comes in, and it's kind of the regular deal.
Yeah, so, as I was saying kind of when we were talking before, it kind of flips the menu on its head, right? We have these Mexican platforms for food, is what I call the taco or the torta, would be platforms, right? It's a delivery vehicle, right? You got a torta or a taco. It can have a million different things inside and still be that. And what we do with our tacos and our tortas is we interpret, kind of Mexican foods with American style, right? Or Midwestern style, Rust Belt style more specifically, right? With the coney, we take a Midwestern food, a Detroit style coney dog, quintessential, right? And then we infuse Mexican ingredients and Mexican philosophy into it as much as we can, right?
What are we talking about? What the ingredients with
so
the Mexiconey is on the menu, everybody.
Yeah, so the Mexiconey, for instance, is it's a adobo butter, so it's not actually dairy-based butter, but we use the tallow that comes off of the brisket and the schmaltz and the lard that comes from the pork and the chicken that we braise in that adobo. It gives off this beautiful flavor. And we take that and we toast our bun in it. So right there, it's a little bit different because a Detroit-style coney dog is typically a steamed bun. And so we toast it in that adobo butter. You're automatically getting a little bit of char, getting a little extra caramelization, and infusing a little bit of spice in there. And then searing the dog instead of steaming the dog, again, different from Detroit. But the coney sauce is where it gets really fun. So it's a Detroit-style coney sauce, but we do put in our house adobo, a couple different extra Mexican chilies in there, as well as Roma tomatoes and sweeter onions. There are certain things that we do a little bit differently than that Greek-style chili that you'll find in Detroit. But I'll tell you, being a kid from Jackson, Michigan, being a coney dog connoisseur. I've had people from Jackson, from Detroit come in and tell me that is the first time they've had a Coney dog in Indiana that they felt was like, and now I'm sure there's plenty of people who do great Coney dogs out there, but it warms my heart to hear things like that. And so, for instance, even to go further with the mustard, we don't do a simple yellow mustard. We do mustard mayonnaise mix. It's about 70-30 mustard to mayonnaise. And we add cumin, cilantro, and a little bit of fine salt and paprika to it. And it just it brings out certain characters in that adobo and the fresh onions with the cilantro. It's fun stuff.
Molly, what's it like to hear him get so excited about food?
I'm so hungry
I know.
right
You gotta smell it cooking a little bit in the background.
yeah.
Maybe it's just my psychological. It's all, I can kind of. What's it like to hear someone that is as much of a foodie as Levi is get so detailed and into it? I mean, you look at on the menu, Coney dog, okay, whatever. But to hear him break it all down, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, exactly why I'm just like, this man, like, he's it. He's going to do big things, and I want to, again, here to support and organize all of that, because that's crucial through it all, too. But it's just like, and that's why, like, he's leading every conversation, because the way he talks about it, it's passion, it's the love of it, and it's not, it's more than just a taco shop. You say it's just a taco shop, but he himself, Chef Levi, he's just still beginning. He's like, gosh, please don't be
I'm like red
somewhere.
face, like hiding in a corner over here.
I mean, this could be this is the tip of the iceberg. I feel like you're saying. I mean, there are big things afoot, and it's gonna hit. And 2 locations now. The journey has begun.
Also, he does have a taco truck too.
I was gonna say that.
Yes,
Yeah.
because he wants a mobile kitchen too.
Yeah.
Can't,
You can't just be brick and mortar all the time. No.
Yeah. Everybody, we're talking with Molly. We're talking with Levi here. Gordito's, Rust Belt Tacos and Tortas, located and collaborating with Finger Distillery downtown. Check them out online, and then check them out. Just come in the door, man. It's so good. But you mentioned the catering possibilities as well, and you guys get catering orders to be able to do that. You guys are mobile to be able to throw it all in the truck and either take it out or serve it out on location. On demand?
Yeah, so give us a little bit of notice and we'll be there. Yeah, 100%. If you need us, we want to be there. We like Molly said, food in mouths. Getting people fed. Molly does an amazing job organizing and getting me put in place to feed people. And so, with our catering efforts, we would really like to be able to do even more than what we're doing. We would really like to let people know that we can set up a taco bar, nacho bar, anywhere you'd like. Usually.
I'm gonna test that.
Gotta throw the usually.
And we're generally pretty quick to turn it around. So we can help you out if you're in a pinch. We can usually make things happen. So. I think one of our Molly, certainly can speak to this, but like we're young, hungry, and we really want to help. We really want to be there. We want to let people know that we have great food, and that we can provide some pretty awesome services, and that's what's special about us being kind of a lighter company as well. We're pretty mobile. We're pretty quick. So. We don't have a whole lot of overhead. We don't have a whole lot of people to worry about, putting red tape in our way. If you want some tacos, we'll get you some tacos.
It should be as simple as that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as you said earlier, if you can just get the food in their mouths, that's when you get them hooked. That's when you get them going.
Yeah.
As we talked before we hit record, and we approach it and hit it head on, and it's fine. But helping to educate our public, and we lovingly call some folks, some keyboard warriors, the chatterati here in Lebanon.
Love that.
to help combat some of the chatterati and the different things that are connotations and facts and figures that are made up in someone's head. But a place like this may have kind of the connotation of this is a bar. Like, don't bring the families in here.
Right.
It's just bar, or it's just a place to get hammered, that type of thing. This is not that place. And you had a really good analogy for it. This is like a Lebanon's own version of a food hall.
Yeah.
It's big. It's wide open. There's live music, frequently, but it's tastefully done. It's well done. It's enjoyable for all ages, and that goes for the food as well. There are places in here where you can bring the family, bring it for dinner, that type of thing, during the week or during the week.
Essentially, what I think everyone should understand about here is it's like 4,000 square feet. So I mean, it's a very large, very open space, and so when you come in, you get a sense of you can really find your own little nook. And so by the time you walk in, your perspective has kind of changed entirely from the big scary word distillery, right? So yeah, it's a bar. Yeah, there is alcohol served, and yes, there is live music, but it's not, with all love and respect to the establishments that are down in Indy, but like the hi-fi, right? That's not exactly where you're gonna take every family, right? But even though I have some friends that have taken their kids to the hi-fi, you gotta break them in early. But yeah, no. So I mean, it's one of those things that I think here we've got things on the kids menu. We've got tacos and conies. We've got beer, wine, and liquor. We've got something for everybody. And we've got plenty of little, like this lounge we're sitting in now. We've got plenty of little nooks and crannies for people to hide away in, or to go out on the dance floor whenever they want, and then go back to their respective groups and eat tacos and drink whiskey or whatever they want to do.
A sense of community where like everyone's welcome. That's a huge thing as well here. Like not only welcomed, but there's a spot for you. So
Right.
Other things you would like people to know about Gordito's, if they haven't given it a try yet, or if they've only tried one thing on the menu, we're really helping to educate you, the listener out there, everybody, to help just increase your palate. It's not just about the drive-through fast food. There are more great options in town, and more ethnic flavors as well too.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, I really think what's important to us is the process. If you look at our social media, if you look at our website, we're not trying to look for any shortcuts. And I think
I like shortcuts.
much to Molly's chagrin sometimes. I do not. I typically like to do things kind of the hard way. And it's both good and bad from a business perspective, which I'm learning as we move forward. But where I am stubborn is the process on my food, and I don't want to cut corners. That's why 3 years later the process for the adobo hasn't changed. That's why 3 years later we haven't cut any corners on the brisket, and no one's doing it for us. We are hand rubbing it, we are smoking it, we are trimming it. As a matter of fact, we've made moves to work with Fisher Farms down in Jasper, Indiana, or by Jasper, Indiana. They're just outside. But a family-owned, locally raised beef from some of the best cattle that you can find in the Midwest, and their pork is a 100% Duroc breed of pork, and just really high quality. We get it with the cushion on, so that extra bit of flavor that you're gonna get from that extra bone in the process. It's just about all the little details for us. We really want to make sure we're getting it right, which is why we've grown so slowly. Really, we're about 3.5, 4 years old of a company, and we've had opportunities that we didn't take because we really wanted to do it right, and so that's kind of our philosophy.
Molly, I see you nodding your head in approval. I mean, that makes sense to you, the not taking the easy route, because
doing it right. That's every time. Just come back to that. Like, why are we doing it this way? Because it's the right way. It's the best way for us, for our customers, and for what we're trying to do.
Kind of my last question was, what does the future hold? And I mean, is it that slow and steady growth? That's if other locations play themselves out, then that'll be that. But whatever happens is doing, as you guys said, the right way. May take a little longer, but it's the right way.
Yeah, I mean, for Gordito's, the growth, we're set on a growth path that is realistic. And I think it's something that we're constantly exploring ways to continue that. And if we can speed it up while doing it the right way, we're going to. I as a chef personally have some other very serious ambitions for my personal culinary dreams. Gordito's is one of them. So I think Gordito's needs to continue on its path, and it needs to continue doing its part for the communities that it's part of. But Gordito's is a lot more than just me. And that's why it doesn't hold my name on any of the branding or anything like that. Gordito's is, my relationship with Molly. Gordito's is our relationship with now the city of Lebanon and the city of Fishers and everyone that we can feed on the food truck. Gordito's is a way to be accessible, to get good food at reasonably affordable prices to as many people as we possibly can. And then as I grow as a chef, hopefully I get to do maybe some fancier stuff down in the line, while I get to feed the masses with a brand like Gordito's and the other brands that I consult with back at FTK and stuff like that. That's really the long-term goal.
That's kind of where you're at too, Molly?
Yeah, absolutely. What Chef Levi has to offer is, again, the Gordito's is just the start. It's incredible. I actually just got married in April out in Gatlinburg and forced him to come out there and cook my wedding dinner and then
Tell
Sunday
me you
brunch.
took the taco truck the whole way.
No.
Getting a 2012 cargo craft through the Appalachian Mountain or the Smoky Mountain is gonna be real tricky.
But you like the hard way.
Yeah, like the hard way.
But
yeah.
you got him down there
Yes,
for your nuptials.
absolutely. Yeah, I've helped him with a previous wedding, doing his elevated custom menu, and I actually said, I want this for my wedding, and it was literally a year later that we were in Gatlinburg doing that. So he's incredible. His food is timeless. Taste is incredible, and again, this is all just the beginning.
Yeah, we're getting there.
We're getting there.
Molly's been helping me put together the planning and organization for the growth of our collective culinary future. So hopefully the sky's the limit. Because we're waking up every day. I don't take many days off as Molly grimaces in the corner over there. I don't like to rest because I really feel like we got something here, and I'm sure most of the people that interact with me don't notice any lack of intensity. It's because I really do think we're going to be able to move forward and feed people the right way. There's a lot of stuff that you can do with food. I think food is something that we all have to do. We all have to eat, and it brings people together because of that, right? And food is best when shared, and food is best when it's cared about. And I think that's what we're trying to do for the future.
Very well said. Best place to keep tabs on Gordito's social media,
So, yeah,
website,
Instagram.
all those things.
Yeah.
Probably
Insta?
Instagram if
Okay.
you're there.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram. Gordito's Rust Belt is definitely our primary communication account. From there, Facebook gets all of those posts as well. So feel free to find us on there. And if you're able to track me down on social media and want to look it up at Levi Kinney, feel free. I'm more than excited to have as many followers there checking out the different stuff that I play with on my personal account. So yeah.
Fantastic. And I'm guessing we're going to be able to see some mouth-watering pictures if we go on the Insta.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You'll be hungry if you weren't.
Yeah,
before you got there.
we actually just hired a new guy because me fumbling with my phone while cooking wasn't really a very successful social media plan. So we hired a fella. He's been doing great videography for us, been highlighting a lot of the work that we do. So please go follow us. Check out what we're doing. We like to think we represent it well. So
Yeah. And everybody, I mean, just check out the menu between tacos, the tortas, the conies as well. You heard a lot about the different dishes, but they're all good. And kudos to you guys for help making it happen.
thank you so much, Joe. And really one last thank you to the people of Lebanon and the community that has welcomed us so warmly. We really do appreciate
Absolutely.
it. Yeah.
Molly, Levi, thanks for being here on the podcast. Really appreciate it. Best of luck going forward, and can't wait to come back and try some new dishes.
Can't wait to feed you again.
Right on. Thanks.
And everybody, thanks for listening to this episode of the Love in Lebanon podcast. More episodes are coming your way soon. Take care.